I don't know if you knew this, but a long time ago, preachers would often visit their congregation in their homes. They just show up and knock on the door. And can you imagine Pastor Daniel showing up and knocking on your door, just standing there, And that happened. And so as the story goes, there's a new preacher in town, and he was doing his visits. He was making his rounds to visit his congregation, and there's a lady in the church he hadn't met yet, so he went to her house one day to visit her, and he pulls up in the driveway, and the car is there in the driveway, and the lights are on in the house, and so he goes up and he knocks on the door, nobody answers. And he kind of looks around, he can hear some sounds coming from inside, and sounds like maybe the TV's on, and so he rings the doorbell, and nobody answers. He's thinking, well, I know she's got to be here. And so he hollers her name, but nobody answers the door. Finally, the preacher decides to give up, but before he leaves, he reaches in his pocket and pulls out his business card. And just to be kind of cute and clever, he wrote on the back of his business card a scripture reference. He wrote Revelation 3:20, and he stuck it in the door, and he left. Now, Revelation 3:20 says this: "Here I am, behold, I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come in." Don't worry, that's not the punchline, all right? So I know there were a few sympathy laughs right then. You're like, oh, I feel bad for this, but it gets not much better though. So the next Sunday, he was surprised when he found his business card had actually been returned to him in the offering plate, and somebody on the back of the business card had scratched through Revelation 3:20, and they'd written their own scripture reference. That they wrote Genesis 3:10, and the pastor was so curious. He's like, well, I wonder what that says. So he went and grabbed his Bible, and he read Genesis 3:10. This is what it says: "I heard your voice, and I was afraid because I was naked, so I hid."